This is me with no fear, standing tall on the sands where my ancestors once rode with pride. With the desert winds whispering my name across the dunes, I have shed every chain that doubt wrapped around me, broken every wall that fear had built. I am not the man who hesitated before the storm, I am the one who walks through it. With his chest bare to lightning, his eyes locked on destiny, I do not tremble in the presence of challenges. I welcome them like a lion welcomes battle. This is the moment I claim everything that once tried to escape my reach, and this is the voice of a heart no longer hiding. There was a time when silence was my companion and hesitation ruled my nights, but not anymore. Now, I speak with thunder in my throat and honesty in my soul. I do not ask for permission to rise. I do not seek validation to breathe. My dreams no longer live in shadows, they walk beside me in daylight, bold and loud. The mirror no longer reflects uncertainty. It reflects a man who knows his purpose, and whose purpose knows him back. This is me, Hamdan, standing fearless before my fate, refusing to blink. They said I should play it safe, that I should walk in lines carved by those who feared to step beyond, but I was never born for small places. My soul is made for the open skies, where falcons fly without borders and hearts beat without barriers. I carry the roar of 1,000 victories in my veins, and the quiet strength of those who lost everything yet kept walking. I am not here to beg for acceptance, I am here to rewrite legacies, mine and hers. Yes, I have scars, but I wear them like armor, not wounds. They are the pages of my survival, the proof that I did not shatter. I have been judged, betrayed, even broken, but never destroyed. This courage did not arrive overnight. It was forged in moments of solitude, when no one saw me cry, but the stars did. It was shaped by pain, refined by love, and set ablaze by faith. And now, it dances like fire behind my eyes. This is me, unfiltered and undiluted. She sees this fire too. She sees me without the mask. No titles, no glitter, just a man who is willing to love without fear and lead without doubt. To her, I do not need to be a prince, I need to be real. And I am. This is the version of me who writes verses with trembling truth, who speaks her name like a prayer, who builds castles not just from stone, but from loyalty. She deserves the bravest version of me, and this is him. I have outgrown the need to explain myself. Let the world misjudge. Let whispers crawl like serpents. I am not here to silence them. I am here to rise so high their voices vanish below me. My crown does not shimmer from gold alone. It gleams from every tear I turned into wisdom, every fall I turned into flight. This strength is not inherited, it is earned, through nights of wrestling with demons and mornings of choosing light. To the young men who watch from the shadows, afraid to step into the arena, this is for you. This is the fire you must build within. This is the permission you don't need but must give yourself. I am not fearless because I never felt fear. I am fearless because I no longer allow fear to lead me. Stand, speak, love, lose, win, but never retreat. We are not built to vanish. We are built to echo. The throne may be mine, but I do not sit upon it with arrogance. I sit with the humility of a man who knows what it's like to kneel in prayer, to bleed in private. My strength is not in how loud I roar, but in how softly I can speak to the broken and make them believe again. I am not immune to failure, nor am I invincible, but I am unshaken in my path. I am steady, I am grounded, I am here. This is me walking toward my future, not waiting for it to come. This is me embracing the unknown, knowing that I am enough to face whatever it holds. This is me, saying yes to love without conditions, to life without hesitation. My hands are open, not clenched. My heart is brave, not guarded. I no longer hide behind what-ifs, I now chase what could be. The man you see now is the result of battles you never witnessed, of nights when the only comfort was poetry and the only audience was God. I learned to believe in my voice even when it shook. I learned that freedom begins the moment you stop trying to be what the world expects. And now, I walk as myself, not as an echo, not as an image, but as fire and flesh. This is me in full bloom. No apologies, no edits, just a soul ready to live, to serve, to love. A man whose loyalty is deeper than oceans, and whose word is stronger than steel. I am the son of royalty and the servant of the people. I do not run from storms. I stand in them until the sun breaks through, and when it does, I do not gloat, I give thanks. So, my queen, if you are reading these lines, know this, I am not the boy you once knew. I am the man who rose from every fall. I am the one who chooses you in daylight, in storms, in silence. This is me with no fear. And with a heart full of fire, I am walking to you. She carries herself with a dignity that doesn't demand to be noticed. Her steps are soft but firm, as if she walks through storms others avoid. And I, a man raised in privilege, learned humility at her feet. I watched her navigate life without applause, yet always leaving an impact. Her maturity is a song my soul recognized, one that needed no translation. There was no need to explain why I loved her. Every part of me simply responded to her presence, like a thirsty flower to the rain. She once told me, Hamdan, do not choose me because you are weary. Choose me because in my stillness, you find strength. That line became etched in my soul, because truthfully, I had been weary of expectations, of pretenses, of shallow echoes that passed for love. But she was not an escape. She was the challenge, the renewal, the beginning. In her love, I didn't disappear, I emerged. The prince stepped aside and the man was born. Every day with her taught me that love isn't in grand gestures, but in the way she remembered the small details I never voiced. It was in how she brewed my tea just the way I liked it without asking, how she knew when I needed silence instead of advice, and how she could sense when my heart was at war even behind a smile. She didn't try to fix me. She simply stood beside me and let me fix myself in the mirror of her unwavering presence. We've danced in shadows, lived through stolen glances, and held hands in rooms that didn't know our story. But never once did she ask for more than what I could give. She waited, not because she lacked options, but because she understood time, and the kind of love we shared couldn't be rushed. Her patience was an act of courage. In a world quick to chase, she stayed still and let love bloom in its own divine timing. And I, the poet who never shared his heart completely, found myself writing her into every line, even when I pretended otherwise. She was always there, between the metaphors, behind the silence, wrapped in the rhythm. I realized my pen had always been searching for her. She was the unwritten chapter my soul kept waiting to read aloud, not to the world, just to her. And if I have to write till my last breath, I'll keep describing what her love feels like, home. When the questions came, harsh, judgmental, sharp as blades, I stood firm. I didn't need to justify love that made me whole. Let them talk about age. Let them whisper about legacy. But what they cannot understand, they cannot destroy. What we have is not fragile. It is forged from nights of honesty, from battles survived, from loyalty tested in fire. And when she looks at me, not even kingdoms could compare to the comfort in her gaze, because I know I have already touched eternity in her arms. They told me I'd forget. They said time would rescue me from this obsession. But what they fail to understand is that this wasn't an infatuation, it was a soul recognition. I knew you before I met you. I loved you before I spoke your name. Maybe this life wasn't our forever, but I'll carry you through every realm until fate becomes merciful again. You changed me, Haadiya. You awakened something so eternal that even death will not be able to take it from me. This is why I write. This is why I bleed ink. This is why I call this my last request, because everything else has already been given.